Today we're going to take a look at what an MLA research paper would look like. And it could include, when I say research, could include many sources, or it may just include one. So no matter what, if you ever use sources or information from those sources within your essays, you have to cite them. And you have to cite them both within your essay and on the works cited page. Now if we look at this, for the formatting, if you look right here, MLA requires double spacing, 12 font. You don't have a title page. And then you've got a heading and a header. The heading is right here. And I listed a previous video or audio at the beginning of the semester that tells how to set up an MLA formatted paper. And this is the same thing. Except for right here it says instructor's name. You can put that there if you want to, but typically I don't. I like to be able to see what assignment specifically it is. So mine's a little bit different here. Last name and page number here, and then you've got your title. Now this is not double spaced. Okay, it is supposed to be double spaced, but it's not double spaced to keep everything in context of kind of being in a tight one-page, two-page format. So if you look through, there's just a couple things to note with MLA format. You have indented paragraphs. You see how your paragraphs are indented? We'll talk about what this is right here in just a second. But when you have large works, if you include a title of a large work in there, like a book title or a magazine or newspaper title, those are italicized. Small works like article titles or song titles or poem titles, those are all considered to be small works. Those would be put in quotation marks. Now if you look here, here's a citation, happens to be one right here, and if you look, it's not an author's last name. That's because there's no author for that source. And if you do a lot of research online, you're going to find a lot of sources that don't have authors, that they're like anonymous. So you'll have to cite what would come next in that formula. And if there's not an author, it's going to be the title of the small work or the article title. Okay, and that's already in quotation marks on your works cited page, so it should be in quotation marks within the parentheses of an in-text citation as well. And we'll look at the works cited page in just a second. This is what's called a block quote, and it's a quote that this writer included from another source that is more than 40 words long. So if you've run across a quote that you really want to use, or if you want to paraphrase, this is paraphrased, or it's paraphrased or quoted, either one. You don't put quotation marks. Putting it in block, meaning indenting more so than what's normally indented, that means that it's taken from another source. And then you would put the page number here because the actual author was listed and introduced the information beforehand. Okay, if that wasn't put there, then you're going to have to put MAC 37 inside the parentheses here. But since it's mentioned here, you don't have to. Just the page number here. Here you have another citation. One thing about this paper, and one thing I tell students all the time, is avoid ending paragraphs with quotes or information from other sources. The end of the paragraph should be your response to that information. Always respond to information you include within your essays. Always respond. Avoid ending with quotes and information from other sources. And again here, when you list the author's name first and say that they said this and this and this, then all you need to do is list the page number at the end if it's provided in your works cited page. Okay, let's flip over, see if there's anything else I need to see here and explain. Let me go to the works cited page. There's another block quote right here. And let me go to the works cited page. Okay. Now, your works cited page, if you use your MLA cheat sheet, it will tell you, give you a little kind of like a checklist. And all you have to do is look at it and say, okay, did I do this? Did I do this? Did I do this? To make sure that you've done what you needed to do to get your works cited page set. If your works cited page is not correct, your in-text citations within your essay are not going to be correct. So you need to make sure this page is correct first. As you can see, works cited is centered at the top, and this is at the very end of your essay, so it's going to be the last page. It should be on its own page. If your essay ends at a half a page, you don't put your works cited page directly under that. Your works cited page should be on its own page. And then all of your sources, it's double spaced the entire page, and then all your sources are in alphabetical order, okay? And you need to be sure that you double check and make sure you've got quotation marks where there needs to be quotation marks, which is like article titles, that large works are italicized, and whenever you cite these sources within your essay, you're going to look down through here and look and see what comes first. And a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people will list URLs within their essay. They'll go all the way over here and see where that says American UFO News. They'll put that as a citation within their essay. That's not correct. You don't need to go digging around in a citation to figure out what to cite. You just cite what is listed first. Okay, like for instance, this source cited within your essay, if you're using an in-text citation, will be a parentheses, Duncan, and then is there a page number? There's no page, so it's just going to be parentheses, Duncan, close parentheses, and then a period. Periods always come after citations within the essay. Here, it's going to be Fowler. There's no page numbers. Here, there's no set author here, so you're going to use like quoted in, and then you've got the large work here, and you'll see that within the actual essay. For Fuller, right here, I don't see a page number, so it's just going to be Fuller. Higby, no page, so it's just going to be Higby. Here it's going to be Hopkins, no page. Jacobs, no page, and so forth. Now, I do think that there are page numbers listed within this essay, and if there are, then it's going to be best if you put the actual range of page numbers within your citation. So if like Fuller, if it's pages 261 to 265, that needs to be put in here, right here, and then you will actually cite the specific page number for that specific quote you're using within your essay. But as long as you cite what comes first, even here, you've got no author. Okay, there's no author. So you've got this title. While you could put that whole entire title in parentheses and make an in-text citation within your essay in the period after, that's completely fine. The way they do it in the essay is they just have the first identifying word of the title. I'm trying to find it for you. Right here. You see how they just listed life. And the purpose of having a works cited page is so that I can look in your essay and say, oh, okay, this piece of information comes from this source, and I got to see what that life source is. So I'm going to scroll to the works cited page, and then I can look through here and say, oh, yep, there it is. Okay, so that means that this person has cited their source here on a works cited page and within the essay. And that's what you have to do for all of your sources. If there are 3 sources required for an assignment, but you include 7 sources, all 7 of those sources must be cited within your essay and on a works cited page. You cannot say, well, only 3 were required. It doesn't matter. 3 are required. That means you shouldn't have any more than 3 sources. Okay? But I do allow it. And if you have more, that's completely fine. But just know that you have to cite those sources as well within your essay. With that said, if you have any questions about this, just let me know and we'll iron out any problem areas. But I'll post this in Moodle for students to look at as a sample. Thank you and have a good day.